Aaron Tuttle here for Ferguson Roof Systems. For 43 years, Ferguson Roof Systems has been protecting Oklahoma's homes and businesses with quality roofing services. Their goal was to be the most honest and dependable roofing company in the state, all while providing free services such as lifetime labor warranty and annual inspections. Well, mission accomplished with thousands of client testimonials, an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, and a 5-star rating on Google. Look, the weather gives you enough to worry about, so why worry about who to trust with your roof? Call Ferguson Roof Systems today or find out more at fergusonroofsystems.com.
Hey there, Meteorologist Aaron Tuttle with you. It is Thursday afternoon, almost Thursday afternoon. It's about 10 minutes till 12. This will be your lunchtime weather update as we take a sneak peek on into our upcoming weekend. A big cold front's coming in. Also a little bit more of that white stuff falling from the sky. We'll tell you where and when and how, all that and more. So thanks for joining me. Please like and share this video. Tell your friends and family about AT's weather, where they can get the real deal, complete, accurate forecast without all the nonsense, the hype, the drama, the BS, just to put it to you bluntly. So anyway, thanks again, you guys, for contributing, for donating, liking, sharing, supporting, however you want to do it. All welcomed. Okay, so see you guys on YouTube checking in. So Nancy's always in the house. Same thing with me and Okie, always in there. Jim checking as well from Mustang. Good to see you, ladies and gentlemen. Also, you guys on Twitter, I see you checking in as well, so thanks for coming on in. We'll see what Elon does with the whole live stream and the interaction on Twitter. Hopefully it'll be a lot better than what it currently is. But you can always check in with me on Facebook or YouTube if you want to get more in a chat session with other fellow friends. All right, also on Facebook, I'm going to post this link again. If you have trouble getting notified when I do go live, and you've been missing a lot of these broadcasts, you're like, where have you been? I've been here. Facebook's not telling you. Well, you can click this little button as a workaround, and you'll get a direct notification from me when I do go live. That way you don't miss anything, because we only pretty much go live when there's something to talk about, when we have some exciting weather, and turns out we do. Let's take a look outside. It's not today. It's nice, actually. Finally, we're 51 degrees here in my backyard. Sunny sky, so it's a pretty nice Thursday setting up. You wouldn't know we had an ill wind blowing our way for tomorrow as changes come thanks to a strong cold front. So how about them apples? Let's get on to the details with that. We'll show you the upper levels of the atmosphere and the look of the cloud cover. So look at the water vapor channel. And what you're going to notice here is we kind of have this movement kind of in this direction, right? So this is where most of the upper energy is coming from. Now, I'm just letting you know the reason why I start out with this, because it doesn't mean much in the way of precipitation. If you get a track that comes this way, it's mostly a dry track. If you can get a storm system that comes out in this direction, maybe it comes in like this and then comes across, that's a wet track. So this is more of it's pleasant, it's nice to see some flurries, and a light dusting is where this is going to go. All right, so let's take a look at that here in two frames. Actually, let me show you this real quick. It is statewide into the 50s now and still upper 40s. So the coldest weather is still residing way out here in the panhandle, but the rest of us are getting a pretty good, decent warm up at this point in time. Now, here's what the jet stream pattern I want to show you underneath that cloud cover. You can see how the energy kind of rotates here from northwest to southeast, moving through the central part of the plains, and you can see a little bit of that color moving in here for Friday across the state. And that's not a good track for us to get anything decent. Now, if you do look here at the extended, as we head into the end of the weekend, into Monday of next week, we see this little guy here starting to come across, but unfortunately the atmosphere is going to be pretty dry. So best I can see right now is some sprinkles and a little bit of classing clouds. That's all that'll be with that one here across the state. Okay, so when we do look at the surface pattern, you see this big ridge of surface ridge of high pressure. So a lot of times I'll show you, the surface map and then what's usually up around, 15,000 feet. But we're going to kind of talk about this guy right here. So this guy here at the surface, that's the center of the surface high, and that is along, which usually encompasses a pretty strong front that's going to be moving on in. All right, so let's put this into motion. Just kind of show you, we've got high kind of moves in from the Rockies, and it kind of sits over the central plain states, and I'd say right about Saturday, we kind of have a center here of a little high here and a little baby high down here. So what it is that colder air punch kind of just drops into place. It's a one-day deal. I mean, one day here it's gone. So luckily, even though it's going to get pretty cold, You're only going to need those winter coats just for a day, for the most part. Unless you're going to be outdoors for length on Saturday. We'll get to Bedlam here in just a second. So here's a look at the lift associated within that. This is the colors in the atmosphere that represents the lift that provides the cloud cover and some rainfall. Now, as we head into the evening hours, we're going to start to kind of saturate the air mass a little bit here in northern and northeastern Oklahoma. And this right here is the 3 o'clock in the morning time frame for tomorrow. And that should allow some very light snow to fall from the sky. Now, as we head into Friday morning, oops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this guy here. As we head into Friday morning, you start to see more of these colors the rest of the state. And that means, again, the atmosphere should moisten up, and we should start to see some light snow falling from the sky through Friday. So here's Friday midday into the afternoon. Now it starts to wind down a little bit for most of the state. Still going on downhill on the Panhandle, the Red River, as we head into Friday night, but then that's it for Saturday. So it's just a one-day deal. It's a very minor lift, and it's going to squeeze out whatever it can in the form of some snow. So here's a look at the HRR, the high-resolution model for tonight, just to show you right around midnight or so. The models like to favor a little spot up here in northeast Oklahoma for most of the echoes, moving through Tulsa, Muskogee, through tomorrow morning. But that's just one of the models. The other one is a little bit more bullish on that. It likes to paint a broader paintbrush. I kind of like this one a little bit better. This is 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 p.m. for Thursday. So it's already trying to start that atmosphere moistening up process. Then as we head into the midnight hour, there you go. A little bit better underway here in northern Oklahoma and then northeast Oklahoma. So there's a couple of models just to show you. The favorite track here that's across the north and northeast for the first part of this event. Now, so we head into Friday during the morning hours, still going on up there, but then it's also starting to pick up here in central Oklahoma. So yes, we should have some light flurry activity for your drive time tomorrow morning, and then really throughout the day on Friday. Again, don't get too excited about it. You can see the signal kind of winds down a little bit for the afternoon, and then in the evening, that secondary burst for Friday night and Saturday morning down here in southwest Oklahoma, based off that lift I showed you in the model data. But guess what? You see this Dallas-Fort Worth area? You guys might actually see some flurries down here. Now, don't get too excited. Sprinkles and flurries is all you're going to get with this particular activity as you head to Saturday morning. All right, now when you do talk about the amounts of snow, I mentioned earlier a skiff, right? Basically just, it's not much. It's like a light dusting. So the best shot of that is up here in northeast Oklahoma, parts of Missouri, Arkansas, Kansas, and then back down here across the Red River into southern Oklahoma down to northwestern Texas, almost Dallas-Fort Worth. Just about, actually does have a little bit in Tarrant County, and then points out west. So if you want to take this verbatim, this is what you got, and this is the best case scenario. In other words, this is the most aggressive I could find you on the outputs of snow. So again, don't expect quarter of an inch, probably in most cases would be the highest I would expect to see. Okay, let's talk about temperatures, and then let's talk about the weekend. So Friday morning, front will be moving on through. It'll already be cold, and we're going to stay cold. All right, so I'll get you up to around Friday lunchtime. You see how we're still into the 30s, even some 20s out there across the state. So Friday, again, is going to be a pretty brutal day. In the afternoon, we rebound, if you call it that, to the 20s and 30s. So that's not really a rebound. We're stuck. At least we get a couple of degrees above freezing, and that's the most we can hope for when it comes to that. I will tell you the wind chill values that we'll be dealing with. Let's see. Let's start Friday morning. So you can see it's going to feel like it's into the 20s and teens, especially northwestern quarter of the state. So head during the daytime hour, still feels like it's into the 20s here in central Oklahoma, and still some pockets of teens out there. So Friday itself is going to be pretty miserable, but just want to let you know it's a one-day deal. Okay, so let's talk about Saturday. Big plans, big weekend, big football, right? Isn't that usually how it goes? So let me do this. Let me take this guy here. Let's see. What's this one? Start you off Saturday morning. All right, so we're into the 20s, 30s. All right, so now it's time to hit the Bedlam deal. It's lunchtime. You're starting the tailgate going. You're getting excited. You're getting your drink on. Whatever it may be, it'll be the mid-40s. There might be a couple of spots that briefly hit 50 or at least come close to it, but at least by far and large, most of the state will be in the 40s for the afternoon. Now, as we start to head up to 6 o'clock, when we get close to kickoff here, we will start to cool things down into the 30s. So we're at 37 degrees in Stillwater already. So at game time, expect temperatures to be in the 30s. And then, let's see, as we go into, let's closer to midnight. Let me go right. Well, that's the wind chill. Hold on. This is what I wanted. I got so many maps up here. Okay, let's go to midnight. That's the one I wanted. Right, quit it. Go back. Okay, midnight. There we go. 27 degrees in Stillwater. So at the end of the game, whoever's celebrating, whatever it may be, it will be cold. Now, the good news is the winds will die down considerably by that point in time. So gusty throughout Friday, of course, but on Saturday, not much of a wind to deal with, and it should be clear skies. So that's the good news for you. All right, the temperatures elsewhere across the state and for the weekend, just kind of add a couple of degrees or subtract a couple of degrees if you live on the south or you live on the north side of Oklahoma City. That's usually how it goes. It's a rule of thumb, pretty easy. If you want to get specific numbers, you can always use my weather app. It's free. It's called AT's Weather to Go. You can download it on Apple and Google Play. Just search for AT's Weather. It usually finds it that way. You can either do the whole name to go, or you can do my name, Aaron Tuttle. Either way, you should be good. And that way you can get your forecast locally. But as you can see here for the next few days, the trend is get this cold air out of here and then rebound into the mid 50s for daytime highs and overnight lows, getting out of these 20s after we get past the weekend back into the 30s and 40s. So pretty standard, pretty typical as we head toward Thanksgiving. So looking good on the forecast there. Pretty uneventful. I will check. Tell you what, let's see, what time is it? I got a couple minutes here. Let's go ahead and take a quick peek at the forecast pattern for Thanksgiving. And let's see what that's going to teach us. Not only here, but across the country. And I'll do the temperatures too, because a lot of you might be traveling, right? Okay, so let's zip on into, let's see, there's next week. All right, so here is Thursday. All right, now, where we have trouble across the country? Well, Pacific Northwest, new system coming in there. Canada, Manitoba and North Dakota, a little bit of snow in that region. And then Texas is getting a little storm system. So quite a bit of rainfall down across Texas on Thanksgiving Day morning. Now, we are on the north fringe of that, so I do see some light echoes of precipitation. Let's see what the sounding looks like. Very, very dry up here, but cloudy below. What this usually means is it's cloudy and it's drizzly. All right? So that's the worst that we have with temperature about 49 degrees. So not exactly beautiful. But that's what's in that data, because probably on the north side of that upper low that's moving by it. Okay, so let's go to the rest of Thanksgiving Day, okay? And then we'll go to the Thanksgiving Day night. All right, there's across that little zipper across the southern Great Lakes into the upper Midwest. Otherwise, most of the country is quiet for Friday. So if you're going to be traveling day after Thanksgiving, the only little trouble spot is down here across the eastern coastline a little bit, up into the Great Lakes region. So outside of that, remember, my app will travel with you across the entire country. You can pin any location you want in that app, and it will tell you what the weather will be like. So it's your friend 24/7, 365, wherever you go. Okay, as we head into the following weekend on the 26th, so after Thanksgiving, the country looks really quiet. So for a lot of travel for this turkey season, is looking really good as far as weather conditions are concerned. Let's take a look at temperatures, though, right? It's not just about the fact it's going to be rain or snow. How cold will it be? All right, well, first, we've got the cold air is, hitting us now across a good area of the country. This is Friday afternoon, so you see how much of it is in the blue, which is temperatures at or below freezing. So Friday, again, is pretty brutal. Okay, but let's get past this weekend. Let's see, cold stuff zipping on through Canada, across the north. We start to moderate here. All right, let's go into Thanksgiving. Look at that warmth here in Texas, at least, the day before. And then here we go. Still looking good down there. So the country divided on Thanksgiving Day. All right, in the north, we've got 20s and teens, brutal cold. Typical cold across the Rockies into the teens and 20s. And then across the deep south into the southeast, not bad. I would call it mild. If you can get around 50 degrees, that's pretty mild, but still chilly in my book. We head into the afternoon period. Like I said, lots of 50s showing up down there with the coldest stuff across the northeast. And so that's Thanksgiving Day. Day after, let's see here. Same idea. Pretty mild considering the time of the year across the southern states. And the cold stuff is up across the northeast where they got 20s and teens. So if you're traveling that region, obviously bring your winter gear. And then as we head over the weekend, same kind of idea. This warmth probably expands a little bit more across the southern plains. There's no big systems coming in. West Coast, of course, is always beautiful. And then the Northeast will stay quite cold. So if you're traveling, say, from the Carolinas westbound through Mississippi and Tennessee, expect some 20s and some 30s. And north of that into the teens, but south of that, pretty balmy, you might want to say. Okay. So that is it. I hope that was good for you. I hope that was helpful, educational, enlightening, all that and more. Thanks for stopping by with me for lunchtime. Hope you have a great rest of your Thursday. And hope you have a great Thanksgiving weekend. Hope your travels are safe. Have a good holiday and a great Bedlam. There's a lot going on. You guys take care.